Saturday, June 7th, 2025. Yep, back at the dacha. And I got a lot of things planned for today. So I don't know where to start. Okay, what am I going to be doing? Well, my plan is to do some transplanting. There's a oak tree, a fir tree over here, a maple tree, and I got to do that. I thought I was going to be mowing the lawn, because Saturdays usually is lawn mowing day. But yesterday it rained, so the grass is a little bit wet. So even though the sun is starting to come out, I checked the grass and it's wet. So I don't want to do any of the mowing right now. Otherwise, it's just going to plug up the chute where the grass clippings go into the bag. So that's that. Hey Vika, what do you got there? What's going on?
You won't believe it. Come here.
Okay.
Look, last year I planted this hydrangea, right? This
Okay.
is hydrangea.
Yeah.
There was nothing here.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing. It was clear. I put some mulch over it. This year I come. Guess what I see? A pine seed
Okay.
and a pine. Kedar. Not one. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Check this out. I can't believe it. Why? In the hydrangea.
So if we were to buy them, how much do they cost?
Kedar,
Yeah.
cedar, pine tree, pine. I don't know. I have no idea.
Okay.
Well, it's small.
Okay,
It
so
came from here, from this guy.
yeah, it came from that
Probably
one.
some squirrel was eating it or taking it somewhere, because we do find pine cones.
Yeah.
And it just dropped it here.
Can you take me to the greenhouse and show me the tomato?
Ah, the tomato, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the tomato is.
Well,
Last year, because we had in our greenhouse, we had tomatoes that were, those little tiny like
the
candy
cherry tomatoes.
They were everywhere, and in October, November, I couldn't take them, and I left them on the ground.
Пойдем, show me.
And now they have grown.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Come. This year, I have too many tomatoes. I don't know what to do with them, right?
Okay.
I even find them among some flowers. I don't know how they end up.
Uh-huh.
Look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tomatoes. Those
Cherry
little
tomatoes.
cherry candy tomatoes.
Are you sure you didn't plant them?
That's not all. That's not all.
But
There's
wait,
one
there's more. Like an infomercial.
There's one more. And I'm gonna give it to our neighbor Jed.
To Vova, he'll be
I have
happy.
No room for it. Yeah.
Wow.
Too much.
But everything else is going. What about this? What this right here? Remember, I temporarily put it. No,
Dill. I'm gonna dig it out. I have no time for everything. See, this
not the
place is
dill.
a mess.
Not the dill. The other.
I know, I will dig them out and I'll plant them. I know. I only have weekends to do it. But yesterday, I had my last day of work.
All right.
So now I can pay more attention to this place.
Cool. What else is there? On the way here, we stopped at the building center and we got some soil. So I got to take that out. Vika's still doing a lot of her transplanting. And we also stopped and ordered a small dump truck. It's these little single axle dump trucks with some shebil. Shebil is these little rocks. So the size that we got is about this size. And that's going to be for the drainage system. So finally, I'm getting around to, I'm going to be filling in the drainage ditch with fabric first, and then the rocks, and then covering up the fabric. So there's water that can go through into the rocks, and it'll work its way out and all the way to the creek over there. So the guy said that it would come probably sometime later in the afternoon. So hopefully by that time I could have my trees transplanted. The guy's gonna come, we're gonna dump it off over there, and I will start the long-awaited drainage. Yeah, it's like 2 years in the making. So what's the temperature like right now? Well, let's go take a look at the thermometer over here. 15 degrees Celsius. All right, 15 degrees is sort of right in that range where do you wear a jacket? Do you not wear a jacket? I guess it all depends on how hard you're going to be working. The harder you're going to be working, it's going to get a little bit too hot. Might have to take it off. What's our wind gauge like? The little fir branches, a little bit of a breeze. It's kind of on and off. So, and there's no rain in the forecast for today. I think it's going to be a pleasant day to do some hard labor of, well, not that hard, digging out the trees. And when the dump truck guy comes, whenever that may be, my guess is probably in the later afternoon. I don't know if I'll even be able to start, but at least the gravel is going to be here, or the rocks are about that size. They're like nothing bigger than a golf ball. So that's going to be good. All right, let's go to work. All right, here it is. This is the first tree that I have to dig out. It's an oak tree. It's about 2 years old, so it's ready for the transplant. And it's called a dupe, an oak tree. And then I've got this one right here, this little fir tree, and you can see how much it's grown in this last year. So the light green shows this year's growth. So I got to dig it out, and it is called in Russian a yolka. So yolka is the fir tree, and dupe is the oak tree. So these are the first two that I got to dig out, and then I got to transplant them somewhere over there. All right, let's go to work.
It's not just an oak. It's a Canadian oak tree. I bought it 3 years ago.
Oh, it's a Canadian oak tree.
Canadian red oak.
Oh, okay. And
For you.
what's it going to look like when is it going to look the same?
Canadian and red.
It's going to look Canadian.
Yes.
I didn't know that there's a Canadian look.
Canadian.
Okay. Well, there it is. I guess I'll have to refer to it as the Canadian oak tree. Okay. All right, let's go back to work. Let's start digging. Okay, there it is. Dug it out. There's the fir tree right there. And the Canadian maple right over here.
Red maple.
What was that?
Red maple.
All right, the Canadian red maple. Okay, so there it is. Dug it out. Made everything nice so that I can have a nice flat lawn here when I'm mowing. And now we're going to go and transplant them. Okay, I found the spot where they're going to be transplanted. So right over here is going to be the Canadian red maple, right here. And the fir tree will be right over here. I got a piece of rebar. And a third tree will be right over there. So I'm still going to have to find the third tree. So we'll have it in a line here. And this should be good. All right, let's start digging out the hole. Okay, so I got the hole dug. And I'm going to put the red maple, Canadian maple, right over there. I also brought some of the soil from the last location where I dug this out. So there might be some good nutrition value, I guess that's the way I call it, that I'm going to mix it in with this really good black soil that we have. And this way it won't get stunted going from one type of a soil to another one. So we'll give it that transition so it has some of its own soil from the last location to this one that's over here, this nice black chornoziom, black soil. All right, let's take it out and let's plant it. This looks good. See, we got a little bit of red already. Okay, here it is. I got it all planted and I just brought some water over. So I'm going to put some water in, let it soak in pretty good. And right now it's leaning a little bit to the right here. So what I got is a piece of rebar that I'll put into the ground, and then I'll tie it up to make sure that it is more vertical than to the side. Probably in a few weeks, maybe even by the end of the summer, it'll take root much stronger and it'll be growing straight. All right, let's give it some water. Here we go. Do it nice and slowly so that let it seep in. And just on the side here, don't want to be putting the water directly close to the root. Otherwise, it's just going to be creating a trench. Okay, so let's just go like that. There it is. It's saying спасибо. Мы хотим воду. Thank you. We want the water. All right. Oh, как мы любим пить воду. How we like to drink the water. There it is. So the soil is really good soil here. And this used to be a potato field, believe it or not. But I think it was the wrong place for the potato field, because the first year when we bought this place, the potatoes were actually growing. And when we went to harvest, they were rotting because there was too much moisture here. So you see the slope comes down this way. So all the drainage comes down this way. But we've got the birch tree. Now we have this Canadian maple, and then we'll have a fir tree, and they're just going to be sucking up all the moisture, so they're going to like it. All right, let's finish off here. И вот последняя вода нам, little bit of last of the water. All right, and now we'll just get the rebar, put it in, and tie it up, and make sure that it's straight. There it is. That's the way it looks. So we got the rebar, and I just got a little bit of a plastic strap here around it. Gives it enough movement so it's not going to be blistering if it's really tight. And just raked up a little bit around it, and that's it. Now I got the little fir tree, the yolочка. Let's go plant that. So as I'm transplanting the second tree, the shebel truck, the rock truck came, and let's go take a look. Let's watch them dump the load. So our load of rocks has come, eh? Vika?
Yeah.
And just like that, we got a load of rocks. There it is. So Vika, how much did this cost? 7,000 rubles. Okay, this is going to be for our drainage here. Just going to pay him. Okay, and just like that, took all of 2 minutes to unload it. Took you longer to transfer the money over to him.
Yeah, that's true.
And now we've got our work cut out for us. Okay. So we got the gravel, or not the gravel, the shebel, the rocks, the perfect aggregate that's needed. Oh, sheben, I thought shebel.
No. Shavel is a plant. Okay.
Same with a Chevelle car. Okay. So yeah, so this is here now. It's going to be here hopefully not too long, because this was one of the main things that we needed. We needed the rocks for the drainage. So I might even start today. We'll see. But I got to go back and replant or transplant. All right, so you got to roll with the waves, I guess. You know, when things happen quickly, you got to drop what you're doing and you got to do what's more important. So that guy came, and pretty much on time. So I figured he came, what time is it right now? 3 o'clock. So yeah, I said earlier he'd come, I guess, at around 3. And yeah, he came, and it was funny. He dumped it off faster than it took us to pay. And as I was videotaping him, he was kind of looking in the rearview mirror, you know, and I was kind of guiding him in. And when I stopped videotaping, I walked up to him, and he kind of looks at me in a weird way. And I'm like, oh no, in Russian, I'm like, oh no, I'm not taking a picture of you. I'm videotaping this for my YouTube channel. And he's like, oh. And in Russian, he's like, what kind of a YouTube channel? I'm like, well, it's called Canadian Living in Russia. Канадец живет в России. Но это по-английски надо говорить. Canadian Living in Russia. So that's the way I told him. He takes my hand, he starts shaking it, and he's like, oh, здравствуйте, здравствуйте. Next thing you know, we're talking about hockey. while my wife is transferring over the money to his account, he's like, "Oh, okay, budeme играть," and I'm like, "Yeah, Ovechkin, and Mogilny." So yeah, Alexander Mogilny is also from Khabarovsk. So he's like, "Oh, you know him?" I said, "Well, not personally, but yeah, he's from Khabarovsk." Anyway, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, when things happen, they sometimes happen really, really quick. And I was just planting my fir tree, and I had to get up and I had to guide the guy in. All right, let's go back to transplanting my fir tree. All right, there it is. The little fir tree is in the ground. I got my piece of rebar just as a marker so that when whoever's going to be mowing around here doesn't actually end up mowing our tree. So let's give it some water, and just like the last one, we want to be right beside the area that's planted and not right to the root. Otherwise, it's just going to make a trench, and that's not good. So let's go from this other side. Let's go over here, and let's give some water on this side. И вот. Так красивочка будет. There you go. So this whole area here will get watered. And of course, I'm going to end up watering it every time I come out here. Just like watering the tomato plants, these guys are going to need water throughout the summer until they take hold and start going on their own. And there it is. All done. Yep, just like that. I just got to rake that up right there, and I'm good to go to do some other things. Okay, another change of plans here. The sun has been kind of peeking in and out of the clouds. The grass is dry. I figured, you know what? I'm going to mow the lawn or start mowing around it. Andy and I made a deal, my son Andy, that I would mow half and he would mow the other half. So I even said that I would mow the hard parts and just leave him all the big straight areas. So instead of transplanting the third tree, I already got 2 done today. I'm going to start mowing. Got to do this. But before I do this, I got another small job. I'll show you what I got. Okay, so this right here, see these branches right here? I got to trim them off a little bit because they're coming down and they're giving too much shade into that. So got to cut that, and down over there, I also need to make a few cuts on the branches because they're coming right down to the lawn. So got to do that. All right, let's go to work. Okay, so there it is. So as I started snipping the one branch that I wanted to do, well, here's what happened. Vika saw me cutting the branches, and Vika, what did you say?
Cut more since you're there.
So now so now we got to cut some of these branches because they're coming a little bit too low to the ground. We're going to raise it up a bit. And we already got a bit of a wheelbarrow load. I think we're going to get a full wheelbarrow load. But we'll have it very nice so that you're not poking your eye or bending your head down just to get underneath this canopy. So what's
the maple? You don't have to. I don't see any branches.
Right, yeah. Right now the maple, it's because I've been trimming them. Maybe this one right over here a little bit.
You said it. I didn't.
Right, but these ones right here, I got to trim them up. All right, let's go at it. There it is. Everything is nice cut. Nothing is coming down low. So it all started with doing one branch over there. And then Vika said, hey, why don't you do this side? So I'm like, okay. So I got it all done, and here it is. A whole wheelbarrow load of these branches from the maple tree and the oak tree. Hey, Vika, who knows? Maybe we'll end up getting, once I take this away into the compost, maybe the trees will start growing there. Yeah, just our luck. Yeah, anytime we move stuff over, there's always new seeds. Like right over here, check this out. We've got dupe. There's a dupe right there, so that's a oak tree, and there's a couple more that are lingering around here. Right here, there's one. There's another one right over there. So we got about 3 or 4 oak trees that once they get bigger, I am going to transplant them. Ah, there's another one right there. So, yeah. Anyways, so this is good. Now we have this really nice canopy that is all perfect height all the way through. Cool. All right. Let's take this away and let's go and fire up the lawnmower and start mowing. Okay, I said that I was gonna only do half of the lawn and leave all the straight long lines for Andy. But because the weather was kind of cool and I figured, you know what? I'm just gonna do the whole thing. And I did. So I finished mowing the lawn. It took a couple hours and I don't know, I feel the rain starting to come a little bit. I don't know. It's like a couple drops here and there. So it's good that got it done today because who knows, maybe tomorrow it's going to be raining. Anyways, I fueled it up, and what I got to do right now is turn it over and do the clean out of all that grass that's caked on underneath where the blade is, and then I'll put it away, and then I'm pretty much done. Yeah, here it is. This is what it looks like, and look at all that that's caked on. There's a lot. So got to make sure that everything is all cleaned out and put into the bucket here, and then it'll be good to go for next time. So yeah, it's really easy to take it off right now while it's still moist. Once it dries, it gets really hard to take off. All right, let's get her done. All right, there it is, all cleaned up, and we got about half a bucket of the grass here. So there it is. Now put it away. I got it all fueled up. And next week, when I'm going to be cutting again, or Andy or whoever, it's fueled up, clean, and ready to go. Okay, let's go and take a look and see what Victoria has been doing. She's been wandering around here and saying with Babushka and Talia while I was mowing the lawn. And let's see what kind of progress they did today. Hey, Babushka, how's your day been?
Well, the day is wonderful. I was enjoying every second of it
Okay.
because there were new things here.
Oh, like what?
For example, truck
Oh,
of
the
gravel came.
yeah, those rocks, the drainage
Yeah,
rocks.
yeah, the rocks, and the driver was so friendly.
Yeah.
We all liked him very much.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and new flowers have appeared.
Oh, really? What kind of flowers?
Yeah, well, lilies.
Yeah.
New lilies, a rose. has
Really?
appeared, yeah, and irises, two colors, yellow and purple.
Oh, so they're out by the shed way over there. Okay.
Yeah.
And it was not a hot day, not a cold day, just
plus 20. The highest was plus 20 today.
okay. Well, that's pretty good.
Tomorrow they promised 21,
Oh,
so it will be even better.
good. It'll be perfect weather for my drainage. Going to be digging and burying the rocks.
Maybe the kids will come tomorrow and they will help us also
Yeah.
around.
Yeah, I know. I did the lawn for Andrusha. I said that I was only going to do half of it, and I ended up doing it all.
They may help you with the lettuces, maybe, if you
Yeah,
are
my
going to fix them, right?
right. Well, I'm gonna go take a look and see what Vika is up to over here now. Well, I thought Vika was around somewhere. I don't know. She's somewhere wandering around the yard. So, guess we'll catch up to her a little bit later. In the meantime, I want to show you what the lawn looks like once it's mowed. So here it is. It's all nicely done. The two trees that I transplanted there, the Canadian red maple and the fir tree. And of course, this birch was transplanted the other day. Everything is all mowed. Everything's looking good. Our compost pile, oh my God, is just getting bigger and bigger. We've got 3 of them. So this is one right here. We got that black one over there. And then way over there, we got another one. And let's take a look at the greenhouse. Let's check it out. How does it look? Well, our little perchik here, the peppers, yeah, they're coming up pretty good. And the tomatoes, they're flowering. That's pretty good. So everything is going. I mean, these tomatoes are just starting to move up. Wow. Just last week they were half the height. Oh, here's another pepper. A little gringo right there. I also figured that I will water the tomato plants and the peppers. Give them a nice dose. Do-si-do. Boot scootin' boogie. And I'll give them some water before we go. They haven't been watered today. And the ground here, it's not too dry, but it's also not too moist. So while there was rain outside the greenhouse, there hasn't been anything. Look at this, it's pretty dry around here. Got to get the dill watered. Yeah, just give it a quick once over. So I got to still do that. And then I'll come around this way and we'll get her done. Then we'll also do the other greenhouse. And this is the lawn. Let's go take a look over here. Here's the lawn feature that I made last year. And flowers, they're pretty cool. And over here, yeah, I think Andy tomorrow, if he comes, I'm gonna ask him. We got to take this apart. So actually, that's gonna be his job while I'm gonna be doing the drainage. And because we've had a bit of a cooler weather, Victoria covered this up the other day that we were here, so that if the temperature went down, it wouldn't damage any of the plants. So she has it uncovered right now, but before we leave, we'll probably cover it up. And our strawberries, here they are. Yeah, they're flowering. So in a short time, we're going to be eating strawberries. Probably have to weed it and get all that grass out, make it look nicer. And here it is. So everything is cut. That's it. And right over here, this is where I'm going to start covering up the drainage right over here and just slowly making my way all the way down there. Oh, there's Vika. All the way down to the creek. So this is a big job, but it's got to get done. Here's some nice flowers over here, these nice purple ones. I don't know, I admire them every time I walk by. Yeah, they look pretty cool. And of course, this little section over here. So I wanted to cut just one branch. And as soon as I cut it, Vika's like, oh, well, why don't you do a few more that are lower down? So you guys saw earlier, there was just a whole bunch of branches. There was a whole wheelbarrow load, but now it's there's a nice canopy, so that's really good. And so when you're walking through underneath here, you can check this out. It's all at a nice height, and that way you're not going to be poking yourself, you know, with branches that are down. And of course, this right here, the faster I can get this out of here, the better it'll be. I don't want it to be here all summer. So yeah, this gravel right here, or chebin, it's going to be part of the drainage. So what I'm going to be doing, I'll give you a little teaser, sneak peek on exactly how it's going to be done. Okay, so fabric like this, so this is just as an example, fabric like this will be laid down into the ditch, and then I'm going to end up putting the rocks that are over there. I'm going to end up filling the ditch with the rocks, and then I'm going to cover it over and then put dirt. So basically the rocks and this fabric is going to actually act like a pipe. So as the water will be draining through, none of the dirt will be actually getting through this fabric, and the water then will go from there and all the way to the creek. So that's what I got planned for tomorrow. What else? Oh, I just might put my lattices. I got 8 lattices ready. The last 2, I had them stained the other day, and they were still a little bit sticky. So I put them out here today, and they actually dried much faster because they were drying inside the shed. And maybe it was a little bit too humid in there. I don't know, because it is covered in plastic. But as soon as I brought them out, they dried up. So I think for tomorrow, if Andy and John come, they could be taking apart that old greenhouse. I'm going to be working on the drainage. Maybe they'll be helping me. And we're going to end up putting the lattices on there. So that's what I got going for tomorrow. Okay, well, I think I've said enough. Said what I did, and you guys watched it from the beginning. All right, so if you like this video, I say this always at the end of my videos, smash the like button, leave a comment. If you're not a subscriber, help me out on my channel. Subscribe, it's free, it doesn't cost anything. Share the video. Let the whole world know that there's a Canadian living out here in the Far East, and life is actually pretty peaceful, and it's nice and green, and weather is good. I always talk about the blue sky, the famous blue sky in Khabarovsk. Well, today, no blue. I guess they decided to save that for another day, but that's okay. Anyways, I gotta go. Take care. Like I always say, пока-пока.